retired Air Force Major David Grush, who has been a whistleblower on the subject of UFOs, UAPs, and government transparency. He's a special advisor now to the House UAP Task Force. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me on, Brett.
So since then, people say, where is the evidence? What's happening? Why don't we know more right now, almost 2 years later?
Well, certainly the last administration didn't help, and my hearing, of course, was during the last administration, and they were not exactly super transparent on this issue, unfortunately. But now that the task force has been created, I've been able to, guide the members within the boundaries of what they're actually cleared for.
When people look at this, they look online, they say there's a lot out there. There's a lot of people talking about encounters. There's a lot of people talking about videos, and we've seen a lot of that. Can we just cut it down to, you believe that we have encountered alien beings and that they've come to Earth and that we know about it as a U.S. government?
That seems to be the case. I don't like to characterize necessarily where they came from. They're definitely some kind of non-human sentience, but it is true, believe it or not, we've recovered the vehicles and we actually have physical proof, and I was actually partially cleared into some of those activities. It was beyond oral testimony provided to me. I actually had partial access to the data and actually read the intelligence reports resulting from those programs.
Like, and with your own eyes,
correct.
You saw it?
Yes.
And so when people say this is kooky, this is out there, there's nothing to back it up.
I don't speak for other parts of the government, but I can tell you NASA, which I speak for, is open and transparent with our data.
Do you believe what Mr. David Grush said, or is he lying?
Whatever he said, where's the evidence?
What do you say?
Certainly members of this current administration are very, very well aware of this reality. Certainly the current president is very knowledgeable on this subject, and I trust his leadership on it, and I think he's assembled an A-team cabinet, and I really believe if Trump wants to be the greatest president and the most consequential leader likely in world history, he certainly has the knowledge, the capabilities, and understanding of some of these sensitive government transparency issues.
I have access, and I speak to people about it. I've had actually meetings on it. People that are very smart and very solid have said they believe there is something out there. And, it makes sense that there could be. I've never been convinced, even despite that. I just, for some reason, it's not my thing.
So you think, one, he knows, and two, he's open to transparency on UAPs?
He certainly is very well informed on this issue. Leave it at that. I don't want to get ahead of what the president might want to reveal personally.
There's been a role to cover this up, you're saying, through administrations. And there have been people who have been threatened and told not to testify? I
was physically threatened even before I sent in my Intelligence Community Inspector General report under the previous administration. I actually had to go and seek legal protection that way because I was, literally in fear both professionally and in my personal life.
And when you mentioned in that testimony of recovering the pilots or remains non-human, that's something that you saw as far as the intelligence with your eyes?
Yes. And it is a very uncomfortable, even for me now, as somebody who's seen it, experienced it, even talking about it, because it's so outside a normal person's worldview to understand that there is this biological sentience that have piloted these crafts that don't necessarily look 100% like you and I.
Were there pictures? Were there?
There were. Yes, there were.
When I said from another planet or from outer space, you said we don't know where they're from. Is it interdimensional? What are we talking about?
I've talked to a lot of, I'll call graybeards on the program. That is a subject of hot debate on origin. As a guy trained in physics formally as well in my background, I leave an open mind on what the origin is. Certainly, there is the extraterrestrial hypothesis, and they could be coming from elsewhere off Earth, but I don't usually go there because I did not see that data, and I'm not conversant in the high confidence theories that the U.S. government had.
I'm not aware of any remains that the department has of any signs of extraterrestrial beings or activity or technology.
You say we, the U.S. government knows, but there are many other governments around the world. Do they know?
They have their own programs, and like I said 2.5 years ago, We have been in arms race with our peer competitors, namely Russia and China, and they have their own programs in this regard. And I was actually able to view a body of intelligence that discussed adversarial programs, and I'll leave it at that.
We've recovered things, you say, bodies and physical remains. Was there a sense that the motive of how they got here, what they were doing, was it peaceful, not peaceful?
We've seen a mixed bag of activity, and motive and intent, why they're visiting. That's, once again, that gets into our assessments, not necessarily, we can't quite understand the intent of some of the sentients and why they're visiting. Could it be because we have interesting genetic material on Earth? We're a Jurassic Park tourist attraction for them. Could be a myriad of reasons.
For the other people who are coming out, you say to them what? You've obviously faced intimidation. You talked about harassment. There are reports that others have too.
I say that there's hope. Certainly, Congress values whistleblower information right now, and certainly I believe there's an appetite with the administration to do the right thing on this as well. And there's some other things that are happening behind the scenes that I'll let the administration discuss when they're ready.
Something that I did not know was that during the second Bush presidency, Bush 2, they actually they convened a cabinet meeting and debated and discussed for days about whether or not to finally go public with this program, with what they have found and what they have discovered.
So Bush 2 had learned the base facts that we're not alone in the universe and that there have been recoveries of technology of non-human origin. And he was contemplating whether to share that with the world during his presidency. And he put together a think tank. One of the officials in my film was part of that think tank, and he goes on the record about it. They were asked to analyze the impact to various aspects of our society, from religion to the economy, and they all went into it bullish on the idea of disclosure. And after evaluating it, they all decided it was a bad idea.
Why?
For various reasons, just the impact, the place we were as a country following 9/11. They just didn't think it was a good idea. They thought that we weren't ready for it, right? The film also reveals that in Trump's first administration, he contemplated going public in a similar way. One of the officials in my film, high-level intelligence official, goes on record saying that Secretary Mnuchin reached out to him and asked him for a high-level briefing on this topic because he wanted to know what the economic repercussions might be.
No, I love that part of it because he says, do you want to know why I'm asking you?
Yeah.
And he's like, why? He said, because I need to figure out what's going to happen to our economy if we come out as a government and say, aliens exist, aliens are here, and we have them.
Yeah. And obviously they made the same decision Bush 2 did, which was to not go public, right?
Public.
To keep it internal to the people who know.
Dato oculta. Novedades con el fenómeno ovni/extraterrestre. Ya se ha publicado o ya se ha estrenado The Age of Disclose, y la verdad que, como os comenté, son refritos. Pero lo importante es que dejan dos cosas importantes claras. La primera de todas es que existen evidencias de naves extraterrestres, de cuerpos extraterrestres, pero que nunca nos van a mostrar. Es decir, no hay ninguna prueba tangible, fotografía, imagen, nada. Pero sí dejan claro, que hablaremos de esto, Dan Farah, que es el director, sabemos que es todo una puesta en escena, que tanto Estados Unidos como Rusia utilizó su armamento nuclear, sí, bombitas nucleares, porque sabían que estos objetos se sentían atraídos y que a través de estas explosiones podían derribarlos. Eso lo deja claro Dan Farah y algunos informantes. De todos modos, esto ya lo habíamos escuchado. Sí, lo hemos escuchado así de veces. Que a través de bombas atómicas los conseguíamos derribar. Es como un cebo. ¿Quién dijo esto? Si no recuerdo mal, lo comentamos en programas anteriores de Daniel Sheehan, que lo conocí en persona y la verdad que me lo contó. Y él lo ha dicho muchas veces. Es la forma de silbato que tenemos para hacer o recuperar esa tecnología. Esto es lo que nos han dicho. ¿Hay pruebas? No hay pruebas. De todos modos, si os acordáis, aquel asesor de 4 presidentes que falleció recientemente, y la última entrevista la tiene Jesse Mitchells, también comentó lo mismo. Es decir, que sí, hemos sabido derribarlos. No sabemos qué tipo de tecnología es, pero que tanto Estados Unidos como Rusia tienen esta tecnología avanzada. Entonces, al final, el The Age of Disclose es un refrito muy bien hecho, debo añadir, pero para la gente que no está puesta, es decir, la gente que no sigue mucha verdad oculta o la ufología, es todo pues una cronología muy interesante. Ahora bien, lo más importante del programa es que David Grush ha salido al público en una reciente entrevista en Fox News, es decir, más media, tal cual. Por si no conocéis a David Grush, estuvo en la primera audiencia OVNI, fue el quien pegó el mazazo más fuerte encima de la mesa diciendo, chicos, que hemos recuperado ovnis, que no son humanos y que tenemos cuerpos. A raíz de ahí, se lo fumaron. ¿Qué sucedió? Este señor lo apartaron porque estaba en la presidencia de Biden y lo apartaron literalmente. No era momento para hablar de todo esto. Entonces, cuando entró en escena Donald Trump, hizo su coalición, ahí estaba la WAPDA, ahí está Ana Paulina Luna, representante Eric Burlinson, que no me voy a cansar de deciros que he comido y he cenado con él, que pude hablar con él y nos contó, aunque ya se sabe públicamente, que David Grush trabaja para Eric Burlinson y es quien informa. Entonces, David Grush actualmente ha salido al mundo, es como una pieza puesta, ¿de acuerdo? David Grush en esta entrevista en Fox News, más media, lo que acaba de decir es lo siguiente. Estados Unidos, el presidente Donald Trump es conocedor del fenómeno OVNI. No es eso de, ay Dios mío, a veces he escuchado algo. No, que está muy puesto. Es lo que nos dicen, que está puestísimo, que lo sabe todo, todo. Entonces, los puntos fuertes de esta entrevista reciente es que David Grush sigue con su discurso. Créeme, bro. Dice que ha visto informes de inteligencia que incluyen fotos de naves y cuerpos no humanos. Deja bien claro, cuerpos no humanos. Cuerpos no humanos es todo lo que no sea un humano. Y obviamente inteligente. Y hace acotación a extraterrestre. Interdimensional o intraterreno o lo que sea. Pero no es humano y es inteligente. ¿Vale? No hablamos de un animal nuevo. Afirma que Trump está muy bien informado del fenómeno y los temas UAPs. Menciona que hay cosas pasando tras bambalinas que prefiere dejar que la administración aborde cuando estén listos. Y estamos observando un plan de divulgación y que lo van a afrontar cuando les dé la gana, literalmente. David Grush no tiene el poder para decir sí. No. Puede, mira, ir dejando esas píldoras. Se le pregunta a David Grush que qué opina por qué estas entidades podrían estar aquí en la Tierra, ¿vale? Y David Grush dice que por múltiples razones que desconoce. Y como yo estuve con Eric Burlinson, David Grush le dijo a Eric Burlinson que como mínimo habían 4 razas que sabíamos que estaban. Una eran los reptiles, los insectoides, tipo mantis, los nórdicos, que únicamente estaban avanzados unos 100 años a diferencia de nuestra tecnología real, no lo que nos venden, y los grises, ¿bien? Los grises eran los que tenían una tecnología muy avanzada, pero mucho, ¿vale? De los reptiles muy poco se conocía, y de los mantis tampoco no mencionó muchas cosas, tampoco en la cena. Bien, era como las 4 grandes razas que todo el mundo conoce. Grush dice que